What's happening? Man, it's your man Lawrence. Back again. Told you I was going to be making a video about the games, Drink Champs. Hit that like button. Hit the notification bell if you're a subscriber. If you're new, welcome. Welcome to the platform with your man. A lot to talk about in that video. It's 4 hours long. I still haven't got a chance to see the whole thing, but it's okay. I get it popping. You know, just like the game setting in a little song and shit. But yeah, again, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button again if you do come in. Share the video so people get a chance to see it. Because there's a lot of shit to talk about. That motherfucker game is pretty crazy, I guess you could say, for really lack of a better word. He went on Drink Champs with Noriega, and I didn't take the time to catch the other dude's name. We're gonna say that's the Puerto Rican homie, the old Puerto Rican homie, because he got a lot of gray hair. I got my own amount, but you know it's cool. They're in Miami. You know, Drink Champs has been out for like 5 or 6 years. It's a really hot show. Noriega is an excellent host of that show, and I mean that. And the game was an excellent guest. Noriega kept saying that he was the most requested guest ever. They've been trying to put it together for years for them to do it, and they finally did it down there in Miami. Started off drinking some Ace of Spades. You know, that's a really popular drink. I think that's something to do with Jigga, which is going to be a topic for the game too throughout the kind of the course of his interview. But he said a lot of shit that was interesting to me. You know, Miami is an amazing city. That's where they like to do it at, I guess. Game doesn't like to fly, so that was a big thing. On top of everything else that's going to go on, is how the fuck he even got down to Miami. But you know, Noriega and his brother, you know, Whack 100, got him down there. And they had a hell of an interview. Like I still haven't got through it because the motherfucker's 4 hours. So this is gonna be coming in parts. So be prepared for that. So again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can get all the info, man, when that shit comes out. As soon as I get through this video, 'cause I do have a life, you know what I mean? So, but to start it out, man, the game. He said that the reason, first of all, that he even ever wanted to become a rapper, there was two reasons. One, he saw Gloria Velez's titties on TV, and that's his quote. That's not my words; those are his. And then he was rambling and rambling, and like I do sometimes, and he forgot what he was saying next, or what the second one was. So he said, "I'm just not going to waste time trying to remember." So they moved on. So game comes in, he's basically looking like a 12-year-old, and that's what the tone of the game is that I got from the whole interview so far. What I really have from his whole career, and I love the game. I'm a fan of the game. That's why I want to see this. That's why I'm doing these videos on it. He needs to do something other than get in trouble for fights and sexual harassment lawsuits. So this is what he's doing, trying to, as he said, control his own narrative. That's a big thing right now. CYN, control your narrative. Get your shit out there before the media can, before the internet can. And the internet is a place. The internet is a real place. Believe me, it's a real world, as I have learned myself. So he's trying to control his narrative, and he decides to do that by coming in with a skull mask on, full ski mask, some Lokes, beautiful fucking glasses with a little red trim on it because, you know, he's a blood, if you didn't know that. Beautiful little red Lokes that look like, but they weren't Lokes. They were probably, you know, some Gucci or Louis or some shit like that, or a Miri, or I don't fucking know. But they were really, really nice. 9 chains. And a leather jacket that was 2 sizes too big for even him, who is a big nigga, and that came out very much apparent because of how much he can drink. And he came on Drink Champs for a reason, because that motherfucker can drink a lot of alcohol. He can definitely hold his alcohol. So anyway, they start really talking about Donda. You know, Donda, and they do that because the night before they actually filmed this interview, him and Noriega and the Puerto Rican homie, is the night that he had that concert with Kanye when he was dropping his album Donda 2. So he talked about really the fire on that house and what that meant, you know, what that, you know, symbolized for Kanye. That was the house actually that Kanye grew up in. It was literally rebuilt, restructured on stage, you know, to look like the house he grew up in. And then they set that son of a bitch on fire because he's in so much better of a place today than he was then. But, you know, anyway, Donda is always for his mama, I guess. I don't know if that's her name or a part of her name or what it is, but Donda is for his mom. And Game really wanted to pay respect to that, you know, by the way he performed throughout the entire set. So he didn't do any choreography ahead of time. There was no practice. There was no sound check, he said. He didn't need that. You know, he just wanted to come straight off the cuff right off the top and give his feelings to that, you know, Easy song that he and Kanye put together. I think it was a good performance by the Game and Kanye. Like I said, they didn't really rehearse ahead of time. They just kind of decided to go out, didn't step in that water and shit no sooner than they first did when we all watched it with them big ass boots on. But he said Kanye just threw the mic throughout the performance because it wasn't that something was wrong or whatever. It's just that he was in the moment, he was feeling it, and getting a chance to see his childhood home burned up, drop an album in the middle of a divorce, his second album within like 2 fucking weeks. But dropped that album in the middle of a divorce situation. I guess that made him feel good, and he just wanted to throw the mic and let motherfuckers know that Kanye is here. So they got into talking about really the game's music. You know what I mean? Again, why he got started into music, what motivates him these days. And one thing was, the song that I started in the background with the video, One Blood, was playing in the earphones and the ear pods of the man who killed Osama bin Laden. So that was something that he was really, really proud of. He said his publicist got that information to him. It was off the cuff one day, let him know that, your song was playing in the ears of the man that blew the brains out of motherfucking Osama bin Laden. As he dipped through there, he was just blah, 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 all that bullshit. So that was really tight too. But Game, with that, the things that he said about why he started rapping, he was real big on, Biggie, Nas, Pac, Eminem a little bit early just because of his lyrical flow and things like that. He really has it to where he's constantly trying to evolve. And now he said that he thinks he's the best rapper in the game right now. No one can fuck with him lyrically, and he said no one. He can beat Eminem in the verses. These are all the things that this motherfucker said within the first 20 minutes of this video. And that's kind of really where it really started to kick off. Because that's when he started talking about, the Super Bowl, the second big performance that he had in the last week, or that he thought he should have had, in the last week, but he didn't get to. And he was pissed about that. The overall turn on this video is the Game is a 12-year-old trapped in a 42-year-old's body, and he's honestly bitter about a lot of stuff with Dr. Dre. And maybe some still with Jigga too. He started out trying to call out Jay-Z early in his career, and Jay-Z didn't even respond to his little ass. So he's still hung up on that. And then Jay-Z didn't pick him for this. So he went into who Jay-Z did pick, and he said that Jay-Z picked soft artists for the Super Bowl. So let's start with what he said. First of all, Kendrick Lamar, not a gang member. He is good kid, Mad City, all of that. He's played the game right, as he said. He's made the right moves. He's basically called him like a house nigga. But he's not a threat to the NFL, a threat to the world, to the white folks watching the fucking Super Bowl. Next up, Snoop Dogg, West Coast legend. Of course, he has Martha Stewart shit. He's on Corona commercials and got Gucci sponsorships. That motherfucker is just an icon. There wasn't any way that anybody was going to be threatened by Snoop Dogg, even when he came out with that whole blue suit on Crip walking. I ain't gonna, we ain't gonna get into that. But next up, Mary J. Blige. She came out, yams, cakes of doom, thighs. Wasn't nobody really threatened by Auntie Mary, as he called her. And I think that that's really, honestly true. And that is kind of how everybody probably thinks of her, Auntie Mary. And he said, another safe artist if they decide to choose, 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a safe artist now, apparently, in 2022. And that's because he has, BMF, he has Power, he got that other shit, Tommy shit or whatever going on. He has that show that comes out on ABC about the guy that was falsely accused. 50 Cent now is a safe rapper, apparently, a safe artist to the game. He didn't have to talk about Eminem because Eminem is white and he knew wasn't nobody gonna worry about him, although he did take that knee. So shout out, salute to you, Eminem. But Game said everybody was safe, and he's the Game. He can't get up on the stage with dumb folks. And I agree with him, because had he done that, what he said was going to be the first song he would have played? What his contribution to the Super Bowl would have been? 300 bars and running. Come on, Game. I mean, it's just not really that serious. But again, he didn't really mean it, because he immediately switched after that and said, probably How We Do It or Hated to Love It would be one of the songs that he would do, because both of those songs were number one hits, real, true number one hits that he has had a chance to put out. He hasn't put out any really number one since then, but, he did have a point. Those two were number ones. So everything that he's seen throughout the history of, rap videos, things like that, he thought was real. He thought when he got into the game, that's how things really were. That's why Tupac and Biggie got killed, and he thought he was going to die in the rap game too, apparently. This shit is coming out like in the first 30 minutes of this video. He's just talking and talking and talking and rambling about um, anything that you could think of. And Noriega's just sitting back, kind of really relaxing, laughing, making him drink that ace of spades, making bets with him to make him take shots. He get into talking about how he actually started rapping, how he got to Dre. He saw somebody come to his house or had someone come to his house one day. And the way he explains it is they got a cul-de-sac. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses. That's he's doing. Like he had to do that, I guess. I don't know. But they got a cul-de-sac, and when you come into that motherfucker, he sounded like he was Nito Brown, on the block in the fucking movie. Really, like had the nigga up on the roof with the sniper, like trying to catch you when you come in and split your wig. But he said that you come into the cul-de-sac, it's a dead end. So when you first come in, they got 2 soldiers, boom, right there at the edge of the gates, letting you know, when you come in here, they're not fucking around. Don't come in here with that bullshit. So they get in there. Once you get in there, allegedly they close you off, close you in. You cannot get out that motherfucker unless they want you to get out of that cul-de-sac. And I believe it. That's how shit happens in Compton. I'm from Compton. Trust and believe me. Yeah, you're locked in. Guy who's now locked in pulls up in a Beamer, rolls the window down right at Game's house. What happens to him? A motherfucker comes up on him with a pistol and says, "What you doing here, blood?" And so now, while this likely white dude shits and pisses his pants, he gets out that he's here to see the game, and Dr. Dre wants to speak with him. Guy tells him, "Get your ass up out of here." Ain't no way that Dr. Dre is calling for this nigga that's up in here selling crack behind these doors. So leave this area before we shoot you. And he's lucky that he got up out of there and it didn't kill his ass. But guy comes back a month later because Dre said, "Hey, get the game no matter what. I don't give a fuck what you need to do. Get the game and get him to my studio." Guy comes back and now, he tells the guy again, the security guard, he goes through the whole process, tells security, "Hey, I need to see the game. I'm here from Dr. Dre. We need to take Dr. Dre's new protege, get him the fuck about this dump, and get him over here into this studio." Guy goes and tells Game, "Hey, this motherfucker came here about a month ago and said he's from Dr. Dre and he wants to see you and Dr. Dre wants to get you in the studio and da da da." And Game is like, "Motherfucker, what? You had somebody come in here and ask to get me to Dr. Dre and you ain't tell me?" So, I guess they jump in the car or whatever. And this is after he's already tried to get with Puffy. He's already tried to get with Suge because he wanted to be a part of Death Row. But I guess, the stars align and he gets on his way to Dr. Dre. That's his history. He says he walks into the studio. That kind of days, he was doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, allegedly. So he goes into Dre's studio. He's just going through Dre's music. And first beats he ever really felt jealous of for him was Grinding from the Clips, which is one of the best songs ever. And I don't blame the nigga. And then he said that when he first heard the beat in the studio before ever having any lyrics laid on that motherfucker was In the Club by 50 Cent, ironically. So he kept mentioning 50 Cent hanging upside down SuperBowl, hanging upside down in the video. But once he heard that song, 50 was out of here. I think we all do that. So, but he goes through 50's, Dr. Dre's, beats, and then he literally comes up on How We Do. And he says that he's in the studio, he's just grinding. Dr. Dre's like, "Oh, that's a 10-year-old beat. Throw that away. We ain't trying to fuck with that." But he did what the fuck he wanted to do. So he was like, "Oh, no, I want this one." And he just started, harmonizing, fresh like, Impala, blah, 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 whatever. And Dre was like, "All right, let's get it." And 50 walked in. 50 was like, "Yeah, that's the one. Let me get on it." 50 jumped on it. And again, the rest is history. So that's where I stopped with the video. Honestly, it's 4 hours long. I appreciate you watching this video sincerely down to this point. I'm going to be back again soon with another part of the video. Next thing up that I really got a chance to see within the first hour and a half or so was really how he feels about Tupac, who he thinks are legends in the game, and why he thinks he's the best in the game, why he thinks he can beat Eminem in a versus battle. So, like the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe and turn those notifications so you get the information to you right when I'm getting it out. Y'all be safe.